Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
All right, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us for the week-ending edition of this program, Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Be me live on Channel 190 on Star Times TTT. Femi Ojo remains my name. Thank you for staying with us all week. And on this program, we talk about everything, talk to everyone that has to do with decision-making in this great nation called Nigeria, and it's towards having a better and a kind of function and a working nation, the type that we are proud of. That is the main reason why this program holds. That's why we are here, speaking to critical stakeholders that has something and everything to do with such a feat. And that is what should happen. That is what we should aim at towards a better nation. We call it the good people and the great nation called Nigeria. Good morning, thank you. And it's TGI edition, Tomilola. TGIF.
Yes, thank God it's Friday.
It's Friday, right.
And yes, it's the last edition for the week. And
Right.
Thank you for joining us all from Monday till this very moment. My name is Tomilola Daniel. And then, yes, like you said, we have a lot in stock for you this
Right.
morning, just to inform you, just to bring the government closer to your screen. Okay, let's start the show.
Very well. We'll take this quick break. When we'll come back, we will be talking. And of course, the papers are in. Stay with us. All right, the papers are in, just like I said, and we'll be starting from the front page of The Guardian newspaper. Living in Abuja, the making of a capital city of gross inequality, rags, and riches. Again, the making of a capital city of gross inequality, rags, and riches. And of course, you could see the pictorial evidence there, as put up by The Guardian, of people struggling to have basic amenities, especially housing. A lot of people living at the capital of the nation, which is Abuja, struggling to have a home on their heads. You could see somebody there who appears to be unconcerned or maybe tired, just laying on a bench, maybe just cool enough, tired of the situation. And it speaks to the making of a capital city of gross inequality, rags, and riches. You might want to pick up a copy of The Guardian to have the detail of that particular headline. Moving on, federal government gives traders 1 month to crash prices of goods. Government increases SUBEB margin grants to 3.5 billion naira. And Afe Babalola cautions against 18 years limit for WAEC and NECO. We looked at these yesterday on the program, and EKEDC explains disconnection of Unilag after 180 million naira payment. And foreign inflow down by 57.22% as investors appraise portfolio. Over 55,910 civilians killed in Nigeria in 4 years, says report. That's a lot. 55,910 killed in 4 years in Nigeria. That's from a report. And doctor strike. Federal government threatens to invoke no work, no pay rule. And Ajero vows to fight on, says police invitation mere distraction to labor struggles. That will be all. But then at this time we welcome Ladeji on the show. Ladeji Alabi, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, Femi. Good morning to you too.
Good morning.
Good morning. Very quickly, and let's look at these. I just need your opinion for like a minute on these age peg, for taking SSC exams and for taking the UTME in Nigeria as well. The federal ministry has said of education through the minister Tahimama said this is not new, but what we are saying from 2025, this is going to be enforced. Your take on that? And the Leonard Sick, by the way, Ariafe Babalola is cautioning against that decision.
Well, I will join my thoughts with that of, people of sane minds like Are Afebabalola. If in this same Nigeria we marry out girls of 12, 13, 8, 10, 11, if it is possible to marry them out, if age 15 is not too small for a guy to go and learn carpentry, to go and learn vulcanizing, to go and learn bricklaying, why are we stopping them? If you have a brilliant child and at 18, he or she wants to write WAEC, and don't forget also in this same country, before 18, in this same country, you want to get a job as a fresh graduate, they will tell you you must not be more than 25 years. You must have had 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years experience.
Right.
These people are probate, and I always ask the question, who thinks for them? I think there is just a case of somebody that gets there through every means, and he gets there, he feels like, let me break the ladder that got me here. That's the reality. Because if you check even at that, a young chap that gets into school at age 18 is not sure he or she will graduate from a federal school, from a state-owned school at 22, because add ASU strike to it, add all these unnecessary things to it. At 24, 25, you graduate. If your school is magnanimous enough, you go to the next batch of NYC. If you are not, you go at age 26.
So you don't agree with that?
I don't. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't.
Quickly.
It just makes sense.
Yes, and over 55,000 civilians killed in Nigeria in 4 years, says report. And by the way, let's put it into the proper perspective. That's over 55,000 lives taken in the last 4 years.
Well, Femi,
that's from a report.
Yes, it's from a report, and I believe, I want to believe that they've done their due diligence before they roll out these figures. Because I, for one, I always want to be careful with figures, with data. I don't just want, because whatever you push out there, people take it hook, line, and sinker. They want to believe you are a legitimate platform. But if these figures are, even if it is just 1,000 people, that is too much. It is way too much. And you agree with me that lives of people doesn't have any meaning again in Nigeria. Virtually every day you read your dailies, you see 2 people killed by bandits, 150 killed. Just 2 days ago, about 150 people attacked in a state. You know, in the space of 2 weeks, we've seen 2 emirs. One has been killed, another one still in captives. You know, we've seen Dr. Ganiat, who has been in the hands of our captives for more than 8 months. And it's sad that the Federal Ministry of Health that did not come out to say anything when this woman was in, has been in the hands of they are now coming out when our colleagues have striked. They are on serious set of people and they are selfish. That's what I will say to them. So if we take lives of people seriously, don't forget also Dr. Ganiat, out of the numbers of doctors that we have that are not even enough again. So what has the ministry done to say, okay, we want to rescue our person, but now they have the effrontery to come out? Shame on the minister, shame on the person that bring out that communication, even the person that posted it. Shame on all of them.
And human lives, just like Ladeji said, and that's the one important question that we keep asking ourselves: what's the worth of human life in Nigeria? You know, that will be all from the front page of The Guardian.
Moving to the Punch newspaper for this morning, governor's jobs. State wages rise by 900 billion naira. Tinubu okays 50% electricity subsidy for hospitals and others. NYSC bars poly graduates without IT experience. A presidential fleet. 200 families displaced as NEF demolishes houses. And there's a rider. Soldiers deployed inside. Property owners demand compensation. Federal government keeps quiet. Ajaero honors police summons. Alt terrorism allegation. No work, no pay threat won't stop strike. And that is coming from resident doctors. A buttock enlargement doctor declared wanted as client dies during surgery. Okay, Canada ends visitor to work permit policy. And that's all on the Punch newspaper. But I would like to ask our analyst, 200 families displaced as Nigerian Air Force demolishes houses. And concerning this story, some of these houses that were demolished were to create space for this presidential fleet. And now the residents of these houses are complaining that the government have not compensated them for this move. What's your take on that?
Well, a very unreasonable thing to do. We create more space for the presidential fleet, why people become homeless. It is a shame on us that as a nation that people are suffering, what we know how to do best is to increase the presidential fleet. Already, when Buhari came with the lies that he was going to reduce the fleet, he spent 8 years, it never reduced. This man is there now. What we have seen is he has added another Airbus to it, a big body aircraft that needs more space to stand. It's a wide body aircraft. Normally, most aircraft like these are used for commercial because it can take about 250 people at a time. But that's what we are converting to a presidential jet. And you know, it needs space because it's a wide body plane. And if you want to do that, then you are going to render some people houseless. I think our leaders need to think about the people. You are not there just for the enjoyment of the office, whatever. You are there to serve the people. And if the people you are serving are suffering, then it doesn't make sense. You don't have a need to be in the office in the first instance.
Ladeji, if I may quickly butt in, can we look at it this way? Yeah, the purchase of the jet, if it's necessary or not.
Very unnecessary. I stand on that.
Yeah, apart. But the thing is, at the airport, you and I know that sometimes there are some piece of property that are government owned.
Of course, yes.
And you see people encroaching, or you see some charlatans, some bad eggs in the ministry of somewhere selling these government-owned properties to people. Now, when the owners of the land now comes to say, give us our space, people already built there, illegally, by the way, those pieces of land are being sold to these people. Now, when government comes to claim the land and things like this happen, we still end up to blame the government.
Well, Femi.
Because there are individuals that encroach government properties.
I absolutely agree with you. I agree. Not even airports,
not just airports,
lands alone. As a matter of fact, all these, what do you call them now? The National Control Center, the 33 kVA, whatever, their perimeters, their spaces
exactly.
to it.
You see people building under
However, you know why I would blame the government? Most of the lands you live ungoverned. Most of the land you live without, proper monitoring. And don't let me also forget to tell you that most of the time, if care is not taken, if government takes over land from people years back and you've not done the proper thing, let me give you an instance. During the mining issues in Osun, we were inside Osun State College of Education in Asia. And do you believe people were mining there? And we met, in the course of arresting the people. The chief that sent them there said, this land belonged to our forefathers. This is a government-owned land. You can't mine on the land. Even if it is your family land. If the government, by the Land Use Act, want to take over the land, the resources there in the land belongs to the government. Right. Do you get? If the government doesn't do the proper thing, you've allowed people to do whatever they want to do. And don't let me also deceive you that in most cases, for people to go and say they have their country to take over lands around the airport that belongs to the government, it is not just people doing it on their own. Right. There are people in the FAN or whatever, there are people in the aviation ministry that have collected the money. So we should ask questions. Who sold it to you? If somebody in the ministry, of course, yes, and government saw it while people were building. Right. What is the ministry of, all these people that monitors land building, land housing, what were they looking
at? Authority.
So it shows we have a system that has been rubbished from here to there. Don't forget, an investigative journalist went to Benin Republic to go and get a forged certificate. And he came to Nigeria. Even with the intelligence of NYC, he served the second time. It shows how porous our systems are. It shows how unserious we are as a people. If a Nigerian can do that, I can tell you, people from Russia, people from America with bigger intelligence, they will encroach us easily and it will just work for them.
Now we shouldn't allow that. Very quickly, still looking at the front pages of different newspaper for today. Let me quickly take the Daily Trust. Nigerians, this is another depressing one, by the way. Nigerians paid 1.04 billion naira ransom to kidnappers in 1 year. That's coming from a report as well. Tommy and I usually talk about these things. I think we said it previous times when Ladeji were here. We hope we get to the point that we will open the pages of our newspaper and in a week we won't get to have this kind of news. But then we don't have to shy away from the reality. Hear that again. That we have right now. Nigerians paid 1.04 billion naira ransom to kidnappers in 1 year. That's from a report as well. And 1,056 killed, 7,568 abducted in 1,130 incidents. Credible intelligence lacking. That's coming from a former AIG. Troops neutralized 1,166 terrorists in 29 days. 1,166 terrorists have been neutralized by Nigerian troops. That's coming from the Defense Headquarters. And we hope these kind of things can be sustained sporadically, absolutely, totally, continuously, not just one-offs. And ex-DSS boss wants emergency declared on security. And another story, I returned $10,000 to please Allah. That's from an airport worker. And police interrogation, labor movement worth dying for, Ajero. And strike. The federal government slams no work, no pay policy on resident doctors. And of course, you could see the picture of the labor leader, NLC leader, Joe Ajero, his comrade with his counsel, and then Falano. I think why, with his invitation of the Nigeria police, call that I've called him since last week. We'll look into that in the course of the program. And bottom strip, CBN report warns of a rising financial strain for citizens. Interesting, whatever that means. Crash food prices in 1 month. Federal government tells traders. And students seek a review of federal government's 18-year admission eligibility. And Zamfara residents killed 37 bandits. Yeah, listen to that again. Zamfara residents killed 37 bandits. These are not the bandits killing the people. These the residents taking, the importance of their lives to themselves and defending themselves, neutralizing 37 bandits. A lot of talking points. Ladeji, let me take this one. I know you've heard the news that the FCCPC, have told, traders, and Daily Trust is reporting crash food prices in 1 month. Federal government tells traders. Good move? How would that go?
Laughable.
But have you seen this story? The detail?
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Because it was outlined.
Femi, in reality, you don't command people to crash what they buy. Because it is what they buy, they will sell.
How about people that don't do that?
Hold on.
Ladeji, there are people that fix prices.
There are people that fix prices.
That's a reality.
I know, Femi. But in reality also, a lot of people in the market, it is what they buy, they will sell. Look at the factors. You cannot fix a price if government is not, doing the needful. You cannot. If we might be selling in the same market, we might go to the same market and buy at different rates, because the factor of production we used might be different. Maybe in your area, you are on band A, you are one of the people that enjoy, electricity, and we are producing the same thing. What will cost you to produce one bag will cost me more because I'm on generator. You know how much they sell a liter of diesel now. What is government doing to crash the prices of these things? Now we are coming to the market. We are bringing those goods to the market. What have we done? Femi, in the last 2 weeks or thereabout, I know how many people have been trekking to work because they couldn't get fuel in their cars. And the government want the same people that are selling stuff to sell at the rate at people that, at the same rate with people that are literally not doing the same thing. So if you want all these things, see, you cannot, Nigeria have discovered over the years that most of the time there is a crisis here. Instead of us facing the crisis, face it squarely and win, no, we prefer to beat about the bush. And at the long run, we come back here, we see the crisis again. It doesn't work that way. What are we doing to crash, the factors of, the prices of factors of production? Somebody said yesterday, and I really agree with the person. He said, you are not living beyond your means. The price of basic things have actually gone up. And that's the reality.
Right.
Let me go and check. It is not a crime for you to eat an egg per day. It is necessary thing that your body needs.
Basic.
The basics. But if you want to eat 1 egg per day, that's 30 in a month. That means you alone, for you alone, you spend 5,500 naira. Your child, if you have 2 kids, if you have 3 kids, add theirs to it, add your wife's to it. Do you get so on egg alone?
An egg per day in 30 days. That means myself, I'll be devouring
30
a crate.
A crate in a month.
4,800 or 5,000.
About 5,500 naira. Add if a family of 5. That is 5,000 times 5, 25,000. So if all these things doesn't work, you won't come around and tell people, yes, I know there are people that hike their price unnecessarily. FCCPC, go after them. But you cannot command people just like that. If the factors of production are not smiling at
Remain
them,
the same.
they need to make gains.
Very well. That will be all from the front page of the Nation.
Lastly, moving to the Nation newspaper, manufacturing gets 7 to 4 billion naira to boost production. Sheyi Tinubu launches initiative to fight maternal infant mortality. Canada bans visiting visa holders from work permit. Rule of law must serve all, says NBA president. Rule of law must serve all, says NBA president. And still on the Nation newspaper, striking doctors losing pay. Striking doctors risk losing pay. Consumer Commission moves against arbitrary price fixing. Okay, and still on the Nation newspaper for this morning, $1 million fraud. EFCC nabbed suspected 4-man syndicate impersonating Olukoyede. And lastly, on the Nation newspaper, 50% electricity subsidy for universities at teaching hospitals. And I would also like to ask our analyst, because it was in the news when the Minister of Power stated that electricity tariff would not be removed. But now there is another report that the federal government has agreed to remove electricity subsidy for varsities and hospitals. Do you feel this is a solution to some of the electricity problems we have in the country?
Well, Tommy, while we work towards, solving our electricity issue, I believe the subsidy should cut across. It's a basic thing. Nigerians deserve it. And as a matter of fact, most of the times when our leaders tell you this is what they do, everywhere, even in developed countries, in America, in UK, in Canada, there are still things government subsidize for the people. You are there for the good of the people. You don't overburden the people. Now, you could see what has happened in the universities since we started all these, the new banditry or whatever that we started with electricity, that students have to pay a humongous amount of money, even in federal universities, because the price that the amount of money universities paid now for electricity have gone up. So I believe beyond the universities and teaching hospitals, government should do the needful. Let every Nigerians benefit from these things. It is just a basic thing. It is just a basic thing.
Very basic.
Not too much to ask.
And I think maybe that's coming as we've been hearing that our institutions have been disconnected. Hospitals have been disconnected. Hospitals perform essential service.
Essential services.
What you are saying should be extended.
It should be extended to every Nigerians. They deserve it. We deserve it. We are paying tax. We are taxpayers.
At least we should enjoy something.
We should enjoy something. That's it. We should.
But power cost is very expensive.
Femi.
Generation, distribution.
Femi.
Yeah.
Government is not there to just make money.
Right.
You are there. The money you make is to be used for the good of the people. The money you make in Nigeria reverses the case. The money you make in Nigeria is for the politicians to enjoy. Right. That is why your president will go ahead and buy himself a Cadillac, bulletproof, close to 1 billion naira, another private jet of over $100 million. But the people cannot feed on the street. It is just a shame that people are dying of hunger while the political office holders enjoy themselves. Basic things: electricity, water, road. Healthcare. All right. These are the basic things that people should enjoy.
Yeah, basic things that people should enjoy, and these issues, we will be on it and we will stand on it to speak on it as well. Thank you, Ladeji, for your time.
Always a pleasure to be here.
It's about always the betterment of this good nation. And of course, it's good people. We take this quick break. When we return, we'll be speaking to issues, especially something that has to do with the health sector and, of course, the security. A lot of things to talk about. Stay with us.